Hey guys, Gabriel from Ungraceful Coder, and today I have another Tsume Arts figure for you. Today it's Rock Lee, who was released in November of 2016 as part of a DXtra series, and this is a 1/10 scale figure. So let's take a quick look at the box. It's very reminiscent of the Shikamaru box, which was one of my first early videos, and I believe Shikamaru is a newer figure compared to this one, so it's good to take a look back. So obviously we have the Naruto Shippuden logo, text with Rock Lee, one of the figures down here, and I really love this picture of Rock Lee. It's just brilliant. It's part of the reason I love the character so much. His slightly goofy nature, but his sort of hard world, and his sort of funny nature, but his enthusiasm and what he does and his hard work really makes him a memorable and awesome character. Up top we have this cool text again, Rock Lee, Tsume Arts logo, and DXtra Tsume. Either side we have this mirror with a small window and some advertisements for the Obito figure, which I believe is getting a reprint soon, so I'll be keeping an eye out for that. And on the back we have some pictures of the figures. As you can see, we have some swap out parts. We have a 6th Renegade version with closed fists and his sort of under stress face with his hair blowing up. It's more chilled sort of look, which I think I prefer because of the look on his face, but I'll talk about that. So before we get too much into talking about the figure itself, I just want to show you each version. So this is the version he comes with straight away, which is calmer, sort of cocky, smiling, enjoying himself, fighting style we see from Rock Lee a lot, and then now we'll change out into the 6th Renegade's version. So here's the 6th Renegade's version, and as you can see you can get swap out hands, which are more in a clenched fist, and his face, and there's a lot of cool vein work. So we've got this cool vein work in his face, his angry eyebrows, his clenched teeth. As you can see there's a lot of cool detail in his hair where it's sort of blowing up in his face, sort of emanating power. Now you also with this version get swap out feet, but the only difference I can tell is the skin tone slightly different, so it matches a bit more with a slightly redder face, which is very thorough, but I don't know if I'd bother changing it out just because it seems like a lot of effort for a slight skin tone change, but it's a really nice sort of thought that we've gone into to go that far with swap out parts. So this is definitely my preferred version because it's a bit more Lee to me. His sort of happy, joyful to be in the battle, youth-driven look. And what I particularly like about this sculpt is not only sort of how very clearly purposeful he's making this hand movement, but the closed fist behind his back really shows that he's skilled and he's confident and he knows what he's doing, which is exactly what Lee is. He's so confident he's moving with he's trained so hard to achieve this level of mastery in what he does. So let's talk about the figure itself. So my concern when I first thought about a Lee figure is he's 99% green, isn't he? So making him look interesting and dynamic is going to be quite difficult. But as you'll notice straight away, the shading on his pants, particularly around the folds, although a lot of it is tight because of the pose he's in, the shading's all done very well in his green jumpsuit. This white bandaging both on his hands and his leg. Very clean white, there's no overspill whatsoever. Of course, Tsume Arts quality control is brilliant. And taking a look down, again we have some shading in the orange. Maybe a bit hard in these edges, but it's a bit better on the front for sure. But again, clean lines, no overspray. Each of the toes sculpted individually with the toenails and all that, and then of course the classic Lee Filler's jacket. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Shading continues well with the Uzumaki symbol. 2 painted sort of pins here. Again, super clean. Nothing wrong whatsoever. We have this bag here. Again, there's really nothing to complain about. Everything within this is done very nice. There's a good finish to absolutely everything. And the shading is done well enough that it's not over sort of hyper realism where it'd stick out too much with the other figures, but it's done enough to keep it interesting. With the highlights of his orange and the white on his hands, it really brings some colour to him as an overall piece. And then taking a look at his face, we have this great smile, his big bushy eyebrows coming in, and this very subtle flick of the hair with the details of the layers coming in here. It's done very well, and that there to me is very Rock Lee. I'm very much a fan of that look. Of course, we've got transfers for the eyes, and I believe none of the mouth is painted, but looks really good. I think at the price point, this is probably the best Rock Lee will ever look, unless he goes for sort of a full-on Taijutsu release sort of big resin model. But this, I think, is definitely a really great capturing of the character. So let's do some measurements and some size comparisons and such. So his height from the bottom of his base is about 5.5 inches, which is 14 centimeters, give or take, but he does have a leaning forward posture, so bear that in mind. Remember, 1 times scale. Our depth is from, it probably is base to base, I don't think his front knee goes over, so it's about 12 centimeters, 11.5 centimeters, which is just shy of 5 inches. And I think his greatest depth is probably from the back of the base, so just the front of his hand might jut over the back of the base, so that gives us, again, about 12 centimeters. Here he is on a Detto shelf by himself. Here he is next to 1/8 Jotaro Kujo. Obviously, you have to remember this is a 1/10 figure, and he's leaning forwards. Here he is next to 1/6 Jotaro Kujo. Here he is next to the Tsume Arts Shikamaru I was talking about earlier. So that's pretty much a wrap when it comes to Lee. He's a very affordable figure, as the Tsume Arts Extra line has been so far. And I feel like they did a really good job bringing some colour and some shading and some interest to him as a character, considering how sort of monotone his outfit is, with just the accents of orange and white doing a lot for him. And the swap out face, hands and even feet gives a lot to the figure. I think it's really good that they gave you that as an option, but I'll be keeping him in this version, as I think this is how Lee is meant to be. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.